So Mikey over on Glam and Gore just uploaded a video a couple days ago talking about her fitness journey and where she's at with that and where she's at with her health and all of that good stuff. And it was a great video, but what I want to talk about regarding this is that she mentioned in the video she suspects she has endometriosis, which is something that I also have, and whenever somebody with a big platform talks about having an illness or suspecting that they have an illness, that introduces that illness to a lot of people who might not have known what it was before, and who might now research it and realize, maybe I have that too. So I just want to give a word of advice to anyone who is just maybe figuring out what endometriosis is, or maybe just starting to explore the possibility that they might have it, or just starting out their journey with figuring out how to live with endo. And this is a piece of advice that could have saved me a lot of problems and just stress and emotional shit had I known about it back when I first started my journey with all of this. And that piece of advice is stay away from Nancy's Nook. Or possibly just use Nancy's Nook as a point of reference or like a resource to connect you with a surgeon or find information about what surgeons might be good. Because as a support group, which was what the initial intention of Nancy's Nook is, it is a terrible option. And when I personally joined it years ago, it completely turned me away from support groups and seeking support for endo-related things for many years. Nancy Peterson, the nurse who runs it, is a terrible and toxic person. She is incredibly ableist. She does not believe that women with endo should have children. And she thinks that trying to have children when you have endo is selfish. And kind of implies she thinks it makes you a bad person. Screenshots of all of those interactions are available if you just Google Nancy's Nook and pregnancy. There are multiple instances of accusations being made that the surgeons on the Nancy's Nook list are paying to be put there. I, of course, don't know if that is true, but it is an allegation that's been put out there, and I could honestly see it being true. People with stuff like medical trauma are treated terribly in the support group. I was personally treated terribly in the support group because of being an SA survivor and dealing with self-unaliving ideologies at the time. The gatekeeping of information is also very big in Nancy's Nook. She outright said at one point that she believes that people should have to work for the information and that she's not just going to provide information outright. And she will actually delete posts and ban people from the group for sharing like things they've learned and helpful little tidbits of information they picked up over the years. Which is very saddening to have to say because the idea behind Nancy's Nook is wonderful, and we need more supportive communities for chronic illness and more communities that share resources and information about chronic illnesses. But just her behavior, the behavior of her inner circle running the support group, it's just not okay. And my experiences with Nancy's Nook and Nancy herself were just so toxic and impacted my journey and my healing and my health even in such a negative way. I feel the need to share this. And I feel the need to put it out there that if you are just beginning your journey with learning about endo or healing it, that you should be careful. And you should be aware that just because it seems like a really helpful resource, there is a dark underside to that. I mean, if you still want to join Nancy's Nook and you still want to use that as a resource, or if you have used it as a resource in the past and found it to be very helpful, that's great, and I wish you the best of luck with it going forward. but my experience was terrible, and so were a lot of other women's. It can be a good resource to find a good surgeon if that's what you're in the market for, but other than that, I would strongly recommend against it, and even utilizing it for that purpose. I would be cautious, because she's an awful person. And I don't say that lightly, but she is so toxic and so terrible. So, yeah, just good luck on your journey. Good luck with your healing. I wish you all the best. But be careful with Nancy and Nancy's Nook, please.